Yoshimita ji, collective Namaskar Kundalini.
That's the conditioning within us and our youth. Such a great happening has taken place about 2000 years back. But today is the time for us to utilize that great advent on this earth. To understand Christ, first of all, we have to know that he was just nothing but Omkara. He was just made of vibration. And that is why he was resurrected. And he was detached because of his very nature. And so we too have to understand that we have to be detached first from our thoughts. And that, as you know, is achieved if you know how to forgive others. So there's another very subtle attachment people have, that those who are born in Christian religion think that Christ is their own and that he resides in their pocket. On the contrary, it's just the other way around, that he has nothing to do with them and is against them. As Christ has said, you'll be calling me Christ, and I will not know you. So, it is important that Christians should never think that Christ is our own and that he is our, because all your life you have lived like Christians. Actually, you have not. You have not lived like Christians. So those who have not lived like Christians, only have taken the name of Christianity, are not in the real sense the people who follow Christ. So now we have to change ourselves and follow him in our lives. Unless and until we imbibe him in our lives, we have not understood the greatness of his advent. Just because we are Christians, or so-called Christians, to believe we have much to do about him and to be identified with him is absolutely wrong. And that's what I warned you before, that we have to imbibe all his qualities. It was a living example of a very great advent, that he came on this earth and led such a pure and a holy life. Try to develop your purity and holiness, and a powerful holiness, and a powerful auspiciousness, which does not get contaminated, but fights whatever is anti-God, whatever is anti-Christ. So today is a day when we are celebrating his birthday again. And on this day, let him be born within us. Let him be born in our character, in our behavior, in our temperament. He was a detached man, not attached to material things, nothing of the kind. He lived like a carpenter's son in a very uncomfortable life. Absolutely. And he never bothered about small things of life. Actually, a carpenter's house is one of the most dangerous places to live in, because you have all kinds of nails, you have all kinds of funny type of instruments that you use. Any day you can topple onto anything and can get hurt. And there's hardly any place where you can sleep. The whole place is filled with wood, and people mostly sleep on wood. But just the other way around, we, the so-called Christians, are so particular about our comfort. And it's very easy for us to condemn others. It's very easy. It's something so absurd. I mean, it's so absurd. You see, anything, they'll go, say, to a marketplace, oh, it's horrid. They'll go to someplace, they'll say, that's bad. What about you? What is within yourself? Just see within yourself. And this is the thing we have to develop now. We have to cleanse ourselves from within. You have to be uncomfortable with yourself, not in without. You have to be uncomfortable with what bad things we have within ourselves, and not from without. Take your attention from outside inward, as Christ lived a life which was inward. He was not living outside. He was living inside himself. And that's what we have to today understand on this day, that our new birth should take us inward. Our worry should be for our inward comfort and not for outward comfort. Like yesterday, if you didn't like the picture, it's a good sign that you can't live with dirt and filth. But that is still outside. But what about the inward dirt and filth? What about the inward thoughts that are contaminating us? What about the silly ideas that are still on our heads? Take them away. Throw them away. And be again born like the lotus, like Christ, who all his life lived like this, died for us and was resurrected. So we have such a great example to be imbibed within ourselves, in our character, in our lives. This is I'm saying again and again because we really get confused. We think if we have a sort of a passport, we are all right. No, that's not so. It's the becoming within yourself of Christ-like behavior. And the greatest of all is forgiving. Forgiveness. The forgiveness, which is so lacking in us, you see. Unless and until we develop that, this ego has to go away. If you have to be Christians, we have to be ego-less. And that's what one has to understand, that when we talk of Christ's birth, such a beautiful time, though he was born in complete discomfort, he could have born in a king's place. He could have born anywhere. But why he did it? Because he knew that when Christians will come, they will seek the best beds for themselves, the best houses for themselves. And little bit here and there they won't tolerate. They'll be shouting for little things. The carpet is spoiled and this is spoiled. And it's so low-minded. So, for you, it is important that you must rise higher. Higher and see how he was born in the manger. In a such uncomfortable place where there were all kinds of cows and cow dung and everything was spread there. And he just didn't bother. He just got his birth in a place which you would not like to even visit or to sit there. And the mother cleaned the whole thing for him. And he was born there, a sparkling star of the heavens, to cleanse it. Because if you are clean, you clean others. So, this today, the great day of his advent, let us celebrate in this great country of yoga, especially this Bhumi of Pune, which is the Punya Bhumi, that the auspiciousness, the holiness, and the complete detached temperament of Christ we are going to imbibe within ourselves. And we are going to live like real followers of Christ and His life. Today you are Sahaja, so you have no caste, no custom. You have no religion now. Now you have only one universal religion, that is Sahaja. And there Christ is worshipped. Everybody worships Christ because He came not for one person, 2 persons or 10 persons. But those who worship Him must express His character, His life. And the materialist, how can they talk of Christ as just character, because there was no material thing in His body. He had no matter in it. He was just vibration. That's how He walked on the water. So how can materialists ever claim anything about Christ as consciousness? This is the problem one faces when one sees how we are juxtaposition of what we proclaim. Now, this is the part which we have to achieve. And once you achieve it, you'll be amazed that God looks after. How a flower flourishes in the wilderness, how it gets its water, how it is looked after, how it is so beautiful. It's not for us. In the same way, when you become that beautiful being, which is the Spirit, you are looked after. You get all the blessings, all the joy, because the source of joy is that. Absolutely. But when you cover it with your ego, that joy you get. So just try to clean that ego somehow. See your ego. Oh, Mr. Ego, you are there. Get out. Take it out. With affection, with kindness towards yourself and towards others. Try to rise higher and higher into that realm which Christ has created for us. In the limbic area, where it is the kingdom of God. May God bless you all, that you follow His life and imbibe all His qualities within yourself. I am also your mother, and I am here to teach you all those things and to tell you how to do it. And you have to see to it. How I am detached, in the same way try to be detached. You try to please me by giving me this and that, but you know I am very detached. I don't understand attachment. I don't understand attachment. And I just sometimes smile at people when they try to say, Mother, we would like to give you this, that, all right, but I am not attached. I cannot get attached. There's nothing that is within me that can stick onto anything. Nothing. I'm just a moving force of Kundalini. How can I stick on anything? I'm just moving all the time. So it is not possible for me to get attached to anything. In the same way, you just get inside this force and move with me. And just forget about all the rest of the things which stop your progress. You must progress with dignity. You must rise. I'm sure it's going to happen. This time, people have been very sensible. They have been least critical. Though some are still like that, doesn't matter. But most of them have been very sweet and very dignified, and collectivity is good, and I'm very happy that people are doing so well in this meeting. I'm very happy. May God bless you. Today, we all have today gathered here on top of this beautiful mountain to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. It's very significant for Sahajogis to understand the great event of his resurrection, by which he showed that the spirit does not die. He was. He was the Omkara. He was the Logos, and he was the Spirit. That is why he could walk on the water. And also, now we have made a film where we have shown how the Muladhara, which shows the carbon atom, as clearly, if you see from right to the left, you find a proper swastika there. And left to the right, we see Omkar. But when you see from down below upward, what you see is Alpha and Omega. That proves beyond doubt that Christ, as he said, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega, shows clearly that he was the incarnation of Sri Ganesh. It's a scientific proof we have now with us. And that's how we can tell people that it's a fact. I don't know at the time of Christ, this Alpha and Omega was known to the mathematicians, but definitely to him when he said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. His was an incarnation, very remarkable and very important for our ascent. If he had not resurrected himself, we could not have achieved our ascent at all. So it's a great contribution. The resurrection of Christ is evident now in your own life. What you were before and what you are today. It is such a change, such a difference, such a transformation. It is his own sacrifice on the cross and his own beautiful resurrection has created a way for all of us to get into this new transformed state. In this state is a different story for human beings and a different for Christ. Christ was himself, was holiness, or purity. So, his resurrection is nothing but just a physical happening, we can say, because he did not need transformation. He did not have to go through any cleansing. But what happened in his case was that he became resurrected from death. Symbolizes the life of human beings without spirituality is like a death. Because they do everything without any understanding about the totality, about the reality, about the absolute truth. Whatever they do ultimately takes them to their destruction. Even the religions which are established by these great incarnations are absolutely on a decline. You do not find any trace of religious life with all those people who claim that they are the ones who can represent those incarnations. If you see in a subtle way, it's very painful also that in the name of all these great incarnations, the kind of work people are doing, the activities that they take to, is something impossible because they have no fear of God. In the name of God, they are doing all these horrible things all over the world. Of course, here you can say Catholic Church has been exposed. Everywhere people are seeing all these false things have been exposed. But these false things they have used under a garb of God, spirituality, and beauty. That's the best way you can hide all the cruelty, all the violence, all the ugliness. This is how they have worked it out. And it has gone into such a state that you do not find the slightest even tinge of religious life among these people. Like all the thieves of the world, all the great crooks of the world, and all the intriguers of the world has taken over. It's only because what was written in all the books, on all the scriptures, that you have to seek yourself, was never done. You have to know yourself, was never done. How many times Christ has said, know thyself. He also said that you are to be born again. So immediately they take a certificate, I am born again, and start taking advantage of that kind of a certificate. But they don't think that actually what benevolence it has given them. At the most they might have made some money, at the most they might have had some superficial powers. But it has done nothing, if you see, from innate nature. One must pity their insanity, the way they have taken to Christ's life or to anybody else's life of such a noble and a higher value system, and are doing all very low-graded things. In Sahaja Yoga now, you have transformed yourself. I would say your Kundalini has done the job. But still, the difference between Christ and you is this, that you are coming from that environment, that style of life, that kind of thinking, which was all for your destruction. Everything, if you see now, is for your destruction. So when you are coming out of it, still these things hang over. Still you get affected by them. Even when you are rising higher and higher, you find suddenly you are again pushed down to some sort of a funny situation, to some sort of a degrading things. Of course, sometimes you are shocked at yourself. Sometimes you accept all that. So for a Sahaja Yogi, it is very important that after coming to realization, he has to be very introspective. Instead of seeing the bad of others, he should try to see what is bad within himself. It's very important that you have to know how far you are going towards your spirituality. Because Christ did not need this. He did not have to even introspect himself. He was something which was beyond any corruption. And for him, it was just a physical transformation, in the sense that from he died and then he resurrected himself. But for us, it is very different. We are now Sahaja Yogis, but we were ordinary human beings. We had no light within us. Now the light comes within us, and we see the light. Then what do we become? We have to become the light. itself. Christ was the light. He did not have to become. We have to become the light. And now you have to guard on the way this light might get disturbed, might be reduced, or maybe completely extinguished. So carrying on yourself with this light, first thing you should know that if you see the light is not proper, means you are not the light. You have to become the light. When you are the light, then in that light you can easily see how your mind works, what ideas it gives, what affects your mind while you are ascending. Is this the worry, or is this the responsibility that you have? Or is this from the bad habits you had? That there is an impediment in your growth as a spiritual personality. So you have to guard yourself all the time and see for yourself how you are progressing. It's a very beautiful journey, very, very beautiful journey. Yesterday I was very much happy to hear the song of the Russians who describe about the journey of Kundalini. This is true, no doubt, that you are a realized soul. Basically, you were not a realized soul. But now you are a
Jesh Mataji, dear brother from Ghana, we cannot hear you. Jai Shri Mataji. Let's put both hands on the floor while waiting for our brother from Ghana to connect. Both hands on the floor, attention above Sasura. Complete surrender to Mother Earth. Shri Ganesh Mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Shri Adibhumi Devi Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Adibhumi Devi Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
Mataji, we all sit down and relax with our attention inside. This meditation is simply going to be having Shimataji coming in to give us the greatest experience of our life. We absolutely do nothing as we not this body, not this mind, but nothing but the pure spirit. As we sit comfortably, let us drop down all our ego, all our pride, all our superego. Once our Kundalini is activated, it shows the real power of Shri Adi Shakti. The moment we all surrender, we all become realize that we all in paradise. It is the entire universe that is gathered before her lotus feet. Indeed, she is the collective consciousness within us. She guards the gates of all the four corners in the world, in our hearts. Let's surrender. Let's surrender completely all our problems, all our worries, nothing to think about. Surrender, surrender. Mataji, it's by your grace and your mercies that we, your children, are here before your lotus feet, gathered and assembled to have innate communication, to enjoy the bliss that you have fed and always been preparing for us to endure. Mother, please lay your hands on us. Continue to fill our hearts with the joy. Continue to fill our hearts with the peace, satisfaction, collective consciousness, and making us part and parcel of the whole. This day we surrender We surrender completely. We do nothing. You are the absolute doer. You are the mechanism behind our awakening. We are not perfect. You are the perfection within us. You enlightened every soul that stands on the soil. We come deep to you, O Mother. You all we know. Please guide us. Guide us, for we know nothing. Forgive us of all our wrongdoings. We surrender, Mother. We surrender. We surrender. We surrender. Slowly, let's keep our attention on our Sasra. We can feel up in Sasra all the good times we've always been spending with Mother, with that glowing, glowing smile on her face. a shining face, giving us the spirit of life, joy, happiness. Father, please make us as involved in all things, coming out of your creation. We can all feel the presence of Shrimataji. As we feel her presence, let us enjoy her breeze, our entire surrounding. It's so cool, icy. Let us all take a deep breath inside and hold it up. Stay relaxed. Still enjoy the presence of Shimataji. Mataji, we commit our daily activity into your hands. We surrender all activities into your hands. We are not perfect, but by your grace, you've installed in us perfection. Let us be what you would have us be. Let us do what you would have us do. Let us say what you would have us say. Be the act in all our actions, in our thoughts, in our speeches, in our movement. You took all forms to rescue us from the demons and all the attacks of the Rakshasas. Continue to protect us, guide us, lead us. We need your presence most of all and nothing else. We thank you for nourishing us, for giving us the happiest moment of our life. Thank you for making us rejuvenated and refreshed. Thank you for your enlightenment. We thank you for your knowledge. We thank you for your bliss. And we thank you for everything. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Slowly, with one intention, let us collectively bow down before Her Lotus feet and take Shri Mataji's blessings and take a collective bandhan.
share.